IK fam, what is going on? BN, I'm back again today. Man, we are here in Infinity Kingdom, balling out. I'm here to give hugs and kisses and cuddle McStuffin muffins. Yes, if that shows my age and I have kids, don't worry about it. It's all Gucci and the hoochie. So, don't even know what I'm saying. Let me continue. So, with realistic expectations, I want to set some today. And I think it's good because this is something that can be applied to every kingdom builder. Right? When I'm coming in as a new player, what are my short-term and long-term goals? Well, my short-term goals when I come in as a new player into a kingdom builder game is I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I'm trying to level my account. I'm clicking on everything to try and take advantage and to be as efficient as I can as I'm leveling. And then some of my long-term goals are going to be, all right, let me get all my buildings to 40. Let me max my academy. Let me work on maxing VIP. Let me max some of these immortals that I'm working on, like my first march and so on and so forth. And then it's going to be, okay, now let me try to start figuring out the events. Let me try to start being as efficient as I can at events. And now, because they have announced server versus server, one of my other long-term goals should be, right, or announced it in development, should also be, right, what can I do as a player? What can I do to contribute to my server, right, to help prepare us for something like a server versus server? What can I do as a player, as an officer, as a leader? Because I have been hearing this recently, and I get questions on this often too as well, where some people will ask, there's not really too much to do in the game. Or, hey, what do I do now that I'm in this situation? And or that I'm in the situation where I just don't have, I'm logging in every day, but it's only for a little bit, right? Well, I would say, you're probably someone who's spending money, so you're probably the minority, more or less, right? If you kind of already are in a situation that you are doing that, unless you've been playing on an older server, and you just are already, because you spend so much time in the game, you've got to a point where you've been able to max a lot of these things. But it doesn't mean that there's not a lot to look forward to, right? I think for anyone who's played Kingdom Builders before, and you've played any of them where they've have some variation of server versus server, kingdom versus kingdom, you know that this feature is by far, at least at the moment, the most important meta event that you look forward to. And because of that, everything that you do from day one in a new server up until whenever server versus server comes out, and I'm sure eventually over time it'll be a consistent timeline, right, where it'll come out, 4, 5, 6 months or something like that right after a new server is opened, right? That is what you're building to. So every day you log on is essentially one step closer to a long-term investment in you preparing not only your individual account, but hopefully your teammates for your alliance, and then all the alliances in the server preparing for when this is going to come, right? This is not a sprint, right? It is, like in this situation, the hare did not win, the turtle did, right? And that really has to be the understanding if you want to build not only a successful server, but you as an individual, if you want to have good mental sanity going forward, right? These are good expectations to have. When I come in, this is what I'm thinking, right? I'm not worrying about, how many brand new events are they going to introduce in the next update, right? Or how many things are there for me to do. I'm logging in to be as efficient and as effective as I can as I'm leveling and what I'm choosing to invest resources in, because I want to make sure that I am able to contribute to my alliance, to my team, to my faction, and then in more so to my kingdom or server here as a whole, to do everything I can to benefit them when something like server versus server comes up. And I just think that it's good to have an appropriate understanding for how you are approaching kingdom builders. Now, yes, if you're playing a kingdom builder that you feel has potential and maybe doesn't have something like server versus server, kingdom versus kingdom announced yet, then okay, that's kind of up to you. What as far as how you really want to approach or how you invest. I will kind of leave everyone with this last tidbit, which is that when I started playing Infinity Kingdom, right, back in Server 4, it was a little after Server 4 was released, and I immediately felt like there was a lot of potential in this game. At that time, as most of you probably know, Server vs. Server was not even announced to be in development. But I personally felt that there was so much potential, as there still is in this game, that I was going to do everything I could to learn as much about the game as possible, right? Read every description, click on everything, do trial and error here and there. And eventually that's when we went to server 6. And the thought was, okay, let's go in with one alliance and see how it plays out. Let's see if we can be one alliance that works with everyone, and we make strides to doing that. And we did to an extent. But we ran into what other kingdom builders and other servers or kingdoms run into, right? Which is you kind of run into like the whale situation, right? Where if a whale or a top alliance just wants to do things their own way and they want the best buildings or best structures or whatever else it may be, right? That's what happened to us in 6, more or less. And if you go there now, you can see it's kind of split into like red faction has half, green and blue has a quarter each. But they're working on it from what I've heard. But we left because of what we saw happening prior to them working on things after we left. And then we went into SA with this idea of let's really invest into the long term, right? Let's do things better and more organized. So that way, if and when they announce something like server versus server, we will be way ahead of the game, right? In addition to being able to do it in S8, which is the last beta server, half beta server, if you will, before the version 1.0 update came out, right, which affected how Alliance technology works. So, right, any new server starting out in S9 and newer is now going to progress slower in their Alliance level and their Alliance technology development than servers 1 through 8 did, and more so 1 through 7. 8 really just kind of got a half start boost. But these are things that we factored in. And now that they've announced SVS, it's almost like all of our investment is hopefully going to be continuing to pay off. And that's really how I approached coming into something like Infinity Kingdom, and how I approached how I was going to invest my individual time along with what efforts I was going to make outside of that for the Alliance, for a faction, for the server as a whole. Because I do truly believe that everyone should benefit. And you might not be able to please everyone. That is a good, realistic expectation to come in with. But you can try to make good choices and good decisions that are going to benefit as many people as humanly possible. And I think that's I think that is one of the many things that we have done very well in S8, and we continually strive to do as well, is to be as inclusive as we can with every player, regardless of alliance and regardless of faction. So I'm going to leave it there, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you at least walk away with maybe some different perspective on how you can go forward in approaching new kingdom builders that you play, or better yet, Infinity Kingdom, because obviously that's the game that I know a lot of us are enjoying playing right now and being a part of the community. As always, if you guys enjoy the content, right, throw me a sub. If you enjoy and want to get more, to not sound redundant with my double enjoy there, hit that bell. You get notifications and updates when we do post new videos. And if you guys want to come check out our Server 8 Discord, you're more than welcome to, and any official IK Discord, IK resources as well can all be found in the description down below. Until next time, peace!